Hi, this is Jake from Cabinet Solutions, and on today's video we're going to be doing a demonstration of both the CNC and non-CNC version of Cabinet Solutions. Now, I'm going to be going through the CNC version last. The reason why is you need to lay out the job in Cabinet Solutions Designer before you could actually go onto the CNC. So first things first, this is the job screen. When you first open it up, you're going to have your job information screen. You just fill in your shop information up top, where the offer is being submitted to, which is your customer's information, and also your customer's information as for where the work will be performed at. So let's go ahead and click on OK. I'm going to double check my standards. Standards at the top of the screen. Go to Adjust Job Standards. And now I'm looking at my factory face frame default standards is what I'm going to be using today. The standards are there so that way you can tell the program how you're building the cabinets in our software. Always double check your information before creating any cut lists. So first thing is we're going to check the material thickness, make sure the material thicknesses are what we want them to be. In this case, everything is going to be 3/4 of an inch. We're going to check our material types. When I click on cabinet materials, I'm telling the program what materials I'm making everything out of. Now you can edit this list if you need to. You just click on where it says edit material list, and then you can add new material types or delete the current material that's being selected on your screen. When you're adding in new materials, you only want to have the material name in that field. You do not want to put a thickness because the program takes the material thickness from the other screen that I showed you and adds them together with the material name and gets that information for later on. So let's go ahead and click on OK, OK, OK. And then apply this to the job. I'm not going to modify any of these standards in there because they don't need to be touched for right now. But again, you definitely want to go through and spend some time with all of that information. So on the screen here, this is the draw wall screen. I can actually click and drag anywhere on this grid and create a line for my cabinets to be placed on. By default, it's set to snap to angle, which means that my walls are going to be snapped to every 15 degrees. If you need something more precise, go ahead and click on freehand drawing, and then when you click and drag out, it'll be degree by degree to give you greater accuracy. I personally like snap to angle, so I'm going to click back on that. I'm going to click and drag in one direction. It doesn't matter how much I'm dragging. If you look on the left hand side of the screen, it actually tells you my current wall size. Or when I let go, I'm going to be able to modify that wall length. In this case, I want to make it 150 inches. And click on OK. And that's going to give me a 150-inch wall at 96 inches tall. I'm going to create another wall coming off the side of this. Just click and drag. But instead of making it 150 inches, let's make this side 100 inches. And click on OK. Now that I have my two walls of my kitchen up on the screen, let's add something in there to make it more defined as a kitchen. So we're going to click on Edit Wall. And I'm going to click on this upper wall here and tell it to place a window. Now I can place just a normal window, I can do a pane window, an arch window, or just a cutout or a window opening. I'm going to leave it at just regular window. I'm going to tell it to center align, which means I'm telling it the distance from the square side, which is over here on the left, to the dead center of that window. In this case, I want to make it 75 inches. Click on OK. And now my window is placed on my wall. And then I can click on OK to get rid of that edit wall screen. So after I have my walls, next thing is to put some cabinets on them. So we're going to click on where it says place cabinets. And that's going to bring us to our place cabinet screen. On this screen here on the left hand side, we have our cabinet toolbox. And this is where we have a lot of predefined cabinets that are built using your job standard. When you click on a cabinet, I'm going to start with my angled corner cabinet. So I'm going to click on base. You can change the size, the depth, the height, distance from the floor to bottom, everything from the screen. I'm going to leave everything as default though and click on place and place that cabinet into my corner. You'll notice when I'm placing my cabinets, I'm overlapping the cabinets from the wall, or when I place more cabinets, you'll notice that I overlap the cabinets on top of each other. The reason why is because we have a feature in our software called Smart Placer. It does several things. It will not allow a cabinet to be placed without a wall. It will not allow cabinets to be overlapped. It will not allow cabinets to be placed off the end of a wall. And if there's a gap in between the two cabinets and you want to fill that, it'll shrink down that cabinet to fill that gap. Let's place my sink cabinet here. I'm going to place it underneath my window. Another item of that smart placer is anytime there's a sink cabinet and a window on the same wall, the program will snap that sink to that window if there's room. Let's go ahead and place in some other cabinets. Let's do a drawer bank. I'm not going to change the size of that. I'm just going to click and place it in this 21-inch gap, and the program is going to shrink it down. Let's place another base cabinet, and then let's place a full height pantry. Now I do have a little bit of space over here. I have an extra 9 inches, so let's move that full height pantry over a little bit. Move it all the way off the edge of the wall. The program's going to snap it 4 inches away from the end of the wall or away from a doorway. And the reason why is to allow for casing. If you have a window, it's going to snap that cabinet back 3 inches away from the window. This can be changed by going into your standards, adjust job standards, going under initial values, which any changes made to initial values will not affect any cabinets that are already placed. So we're going to go ahead and click on OK. Go to Windows and Doors, and you can change that information here. Now we still have that 5-inch gap here, so let's go ahead and extend this base cabinet. I'm going to click on the cabinet, click on Edit Cabinet, and then let's oversize this cabinet. I'm going to make it 50 inches. Now I can already tell you that there's only a 29-inch gap. The cabinet is extremely oversized. It's going to shrink down and fit into that space. So on this other wall, let's place another cabinet. Let's do another pantry. And then let's do an appliance. Let's go down to our appliances over here. I'm going to do a slide in range. Click on OK. Place. I'm going to place it against my base cabinet here. And let's actually make this full height pantry bigger. So let's click on it, edit cabinet, and again oversize the cabinet 50 inches, and the program will shrink it down. Let's place in some upper cabinets really quick. So let's go to my angle corner cabinet, upper, place, and I'm just going to oversize some larger cabinets here to just quickly fill out the room. Okay, so after I have my upper cabinets placed, my design is essentially done. I can click on Edit Elevations and it'll show you the elevation screen of the first wall that I've drawn. You can actually change your walls, change your room if you have multiple different rooms, or I can tell it to display doors. When I click on display doors, it's going to hide all my cabinet information. The reason why is because when you print out the screen with display doors enabled, is your customer cannot take this information and go over to a competitor and have you basically lose the job after you've done all the work on this job. But if you print it with the display doors turned off, it has all the information, the sizes, the heights, everything that they would need to be able to identify which cabinet goes where. Let's customize a cabinet. So let's take one of these upper cabinets here. Let's go to cabinet number 8. Let's place a center rail. Click on Continue, and then click on the little representation of that window down here at the bottom, and click on OK. So next I'm going to fill this with an appliance. Let's go to Openings and Rollouts. I'm going to click on that bottom opening, and let's change the height of this opening. Let's make it 14 inches tall. And I'm going to tell it to move the top side. Over here for type, I'm going to change my opening type from door pair to appliance opening. And then let's change my appliance to microwave. Click on OK, and OK again, and now I have a microwave filled in that cabinet. If I wanted to from the screen, I can go to my view assembly sheet, and this gives me all the information I would need to build this individual cabinet. It does not give any door information outside of the overall height and width of that door. And then let's go to Done, and essentially I've just created a room. So let's take a look at that room in our 3D system. We already have videos on our website for how to move around in our 3D system and also how to use it to your best advantage. So I'm not going to be going over a lot of that information. I'm just going to show you a quick 3D view, and it's not going to have any color changes. Links will be provided below on how to use our 3D system better. And that is a 3D view of the room that we've just designed. I'm going to click on Exit to return out of the screen. After I have my job up on my screen, let's go ahead and see what else we can do with this job. Let's go to Tools, and I can go to Job Costing. Job Costing is going to let me know that I don't have information set up for my doors and door fronts because they have a cost per square foot of 0. That's okay. I'm going to click on Cabinets. We can price out cabinets by the lineal foot, or we can do them by material, labor, and profit. We're going to tell the program how long estimated hours it's going to take us. Let's say it's going to take us 80 hours. I want $60 per hour. And sales tax, let's do 9.25. And let's say I want to add in 45% profit. The program is going to tell me that with the information that I have already set up in this job, that it's going to price out this kitchen for $9,287.32. Obviously that's incorrect because materials need to be set up and everything on your end. Your price may vary. Go to material costs. We can do edit material properties, and then on this screen we tell the program how much do we pay per square foot of the material, what's our percentage of waste, and what's our standard panel size for the sheet of material. This information needs to be filled out for every material that's listed or has ever been used in the software. You'll see some items on here eventually that do say check items. That means that the item has $0.00 in there for the cost per square foot, or it has not a standard panel size. So that information also needs to be modified for that check items mark to go away. We could also do the panel optimizer. This function is available for both CNC and non-CNC. What it does is it gives you the fastest cut for your materials. It does rip cuts first, cross cuts second. It's not designed to save you material, it's designed to save you time cutting. So let's go to my optimize and print layout. Let's select one of my values. Let's go to my melamine white two-sided and click on print preview to give you an idea of that information. Every page is a different sheet of material used. It is taking this information from the edit material properties for your standard panel size for your width and length and thickness. Close. We can now go to our printouts here. Let's go to File, Print, and then I can go to Assembly Sheet, Master Cut List, Floor Plan, Wall Elevations, but let's go to the Master Cut List. I'm going to tell it to select none because everything is selected by default. Let's check our cabinet box parts and click on Print Preview. And this gives you all of your box part information for the entire job, broken down by material thickness and by material name. Click on Close. This next step actually does require the CNC version of Cabinet Solutions. If you do not have the CNC version of Cabinet Solutions, please call Cabinet Solutions at 209-836-4077. We can upgrade your software to the CNC version. You will need a couple items. First of all, a CNC machine or access to a CNC machine. And you would also need a nesting software. We do generate generic DXF files, or we send the information over to EnRoute for nesting and G-code creation. If you're creating just generic DXF files, you will need to manually toolpath them. You will need to manually send that information over to whatever software it is that you want to and use that for nesting and G-code creation. We do not support that. Let's go to Tools and CNC Workshop. This is going to open up our CNC Workshop. This has every part for every cabinet in this job. If I scroll down to one of my items, let's go to my right panel. For the sink cabinet, it shows me that this lighter area here is open, but it's not open to modify in any way because there's a sink behind it. This darker orange area here shows me that it's open, but we can modify the information in there, such as adding in door hinge holes, which is not needed for face frame style cabinets. This is more for European style. So if you're switching back and forth between European and face frame, you can do both. You just go to Tools, Door Hinges, you remove the check mark next to Enable Hinge Holes for cabinet type, and then click on OK, and that removes your door hinge holes. When it comes time to setting your software up for CNC, you will need to actually set up an appointment with Cabinet Solutions. We connect to your computer. It takes us about 1 to 2 hours to go through every option to get your CNC software set up, so that way you're able to start creating parts and cutting them out on your machine. So let's go to Tools, Options. I'm going to check my output here, and I'm noticing that I'm set to send information over to EnRoute. I do have EnRoute 7 listed on this computer. I'm going to verify all my information. I need to change my plate dimension to 0.75. Click on OK. Let's select some information to go over to EnRoute for nesting and G-code creation. I have one of two ways of selecting items. Let's right click on an item. I can select all parts for just this one cabinet, deselect all parts for this one cabinet, go to select by material, by part type. I can select all materials with this thickness and material name, or I can select all just this individual part. I could also go up here to edit, and I can select that information as well. Let's go by just part type. I'm going to send over just my left panel, my right panel, and let's go bottoms. Since I have angle corner cabinets in here as well, let's do my corner left panel. So when I click on OK, that's going to select just those items from the entire list and tell me down below that I'm ready to export 30 parts. Click on Export 30 Parts. It opens up EnRoute. Let's go to my automatic toolpath. I'm going to tell it that I'm using Cabinet Solutions. I'm going to notice first of all that it is showing that I'm using the Cabinet Solutions ATP file, or automatic toolpath file. Let's go to Parts, go to Add List File, and I'm going to notice that it gives me two different materials for this. So let's select my melamine, white one-sided. That's going to give me all my melamine information. Click on Add More List Files, go to my red oak plywood, and click on Open. And that's going to add in the rest of the information that I selected. These items are marked to rotate because melamine does not have a grain, so it will allow them to rotate them however they need to give me the best nest possible. But my red oak plywood does have a grain, so it will not allow those items to rotate. Let's double check all my other values here. Map, everything looks okay. Everything has a strategy attached to it from our software. Let's go to material and make sure that our material thickness and everything is correct. It is. For processing, I want to set my bottom left to be my nest start position. Output, I do want to create an output. And finally, I'm going to click on process parts. This is going to take all the information, nest them on the sheets of material, and give me nest information on my screen. In this case, it tells me that it created, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different sheets of material. So let's go ahead and click on OK. And it's going to display to me my nest. Now again, this is using the melamine white one-sided, so everything is jumbled together. And I can scroll through my items to check my nest to make sure that everything is working correctly the way that I need them to be. Once you have verified your nest, you can close out of EnRoute. You no longer need it open. Let's go ahead and tell it no. Let's open up my documents directory. Go to Cabinet Solutions, go to Workshop, and go to Export Data. And on this section here is where I have my out files. Let's sort by name. This shows the parts that are being brought in for those specific materials. My out files, which are what my machine reads. So I can take these out files here. I can select just those items and be able to take that information, copy it over to a USB drive or a network directory, or however my machine will read these files, and then it should start cutting those materials out, no problem at all. That is the entire demonstration for going through cabinet solutions, going through the CNC workshop, and also nesting and creating G-code for EnRoute. If you have any questions, please feel free to give Cabinet Solutions a call, 209-836-4077. Either myself or somebody else will be more than happy to help you out. Thank you very much for watching the video today, and I hope you have a great day.